How's it going, guys? I got a big surprise for you underneath this wrapped present like it's Christmas. Let's take a look. It's a Corvette. So this is actually a car I picked up from Copart. It's a salvage title. It looks pretty nice from this angle, so let's stay back here for a second while I tell you about the story behind this. I've been looking for Copart cars for years. I go searching. The idea of getting a cheap, cool car that is a bit of a project to fix up was always very attractive to me. And I just was kind of too much of a coward to pull the trigger. I eventually came across this Corvette, which the thing I liked about it is there was a buy it now price, because I don't want to be in a competition bidding on cars with other people. I just want to buy it straight out. So I bought this car, pretty good base price. I might have gotten scammed when we look at some of the damage up front and some of the problems this car has. So I'm going to take you on a little walk around and you can determine for yourself whether I got scammed or this was a brilliant investment by a brilliant businessman. Since we're back here, we'll start underneath the car. Before we get into the problems this car has, let's talk about the pros this car has. This car is straight piped mufflerless. It still has the resonators and the cats, obviously, but it does not have the super restrictive mufflers that these LSs usually have. And this thing has a growl, let me tell ya. All right, beginning of the video, but I've delayed it long enough. Let's look at what's actually wrong with this car. I got it under the cover, mostly because we live in Oakland and I don't want some moron to see this and think it's a sideshow mobile. Okay, well, you can't see the damage right now because I took the bumper, the fender, and the headlight off, but I'll show you that damage later. Just know that this bumper was completely cracked, this headlight panel was missing, and this fender had a big hole in it. All right, so I'm gonna do individual videos of actually working on this thing, but I'll show you that I got this headlight assembly back together, got the cover, got a bezel, it's in there pretty good. You can see this old fender with a big shark bite out of it. The new fender actually has some damage on the corner, so I'm gonna have to respray it, so I'll document that as well. So this bumper was completely cracked up and I patched it back together. Like I said, I'll document that and show you the process of how I got it back together. The reason this car was salvaged and totaled was because no one in their right mind should try to stick this bumper back together. They just need a new bumper, which is expensive, and then you have to get it resprayed. That's a whole other ordeal. That I went the stupid route. I went the route where I did a bunch of gluing and it kind of turned out not that bad actually. And now I'm in the spraying phase and it's turning out okay. It's not gonna look perfect. All right, now that I've showed you the biggest problem area, let's take the rest of this cover off, see if there's any more imperfections, subtle personality traits that we need to work out. But I want to unwrap the rest of this car because it is a Corvette and it is pretty cool. Okay, that's not as amazing of a reveal since it has this bumper off. You can't see it in its sleek glory. But you can't see the pop-up headlights, at least this one. Now I was gonna go to maybe a fixed headlight because the other one was broken and needed replacing. And it was actually a kind of a better investment to sell this assembly for maybe like $1,000, get a cheap fixed headlight assembly for like $200 and then make some sort of a profit. But 2004 was the last year of any production car to have pop-up headlights, I believe. And the Corvette is synonymous with pop-up headlights. So I wanted to keep that piece of history and I'm gonna keep the pop-ups. I got a new cover, new bezel, new bracket for the other headlight assembly. So this thing is gonna look stock and look really good. Now we're in the interior and it's actually pretty nice for the price and for a salvage car. It's got nice black leather in pretty good condition. There's only like one rip. It did have this atrocious, I don't want to go on about how atrocious it was, but it was a terrible CarPlay system. And the people who installed it just jammed it in here. So they broke this bezel and it's GM plastic, so this stuff breaks pretty easily. So I'm probably gonna have to replace this whole assembly. The rest is in pretty good shape. These cars were never known for their high quality to begin with, so If you know me, you know I don't really care about that. I'm just glad it's in fairly solid condition. Everything seems to work. Now let's address this shifter. I know it's not a manual, it's an automatic. I know a lot of people will say, why would you buy an automatic Corvette? Why would you buy an automatic sports car? I know myself a couple years ago might have said the same thing. I realize I've missed out on buying cars because they were automatics for a long time, and I just decided to get off my high horse and get an automatic. This isn't a forever car either, so I think that's fine. But let's check out what's really powering this beast, the LS1. I'm gonna pop the hood. All right, under the hood is the coveted LS1. And for the price I got this for, it's incredible that I have an LS1. Who can say they have an LS1? Probably a lot of people, but I have one. The main issue I'm facing is a crazy squeaking up front. Okay, the squeaking is actually getting worse. And I think it's just an idler pulley, might be the harmonic balancer. Not a terrible project to replace, so we're gonna keep an eye on that. But other than that, I think it runs pretty good, and it sounds very good. So there it is, my first Corvette. So like I said, I'm planning on flipping this car. I'm nowhere close to selling it. It still needs a lot of work, so stick with me along the way. I'll show you some of the work I'm doing on it to fix it up. And then eventually, I'm gonna do kind of a breakdown of whether it was worth it or a bad investment to purchase this car to begin with. Because buying a car from Copart isn't just the base price. The base price for this car was exceptionally good, but there's fees on top of that I'll break down.